Merry Christmas, guys. Let's get right into the video. Let's start off with hair. So first thing I'm going to do is just make a side part, and then I'm going to section off the bigger piece. Don't mind my scalp, section off the bigger piece so we can start braiding on the smaller section. Okay, so now I'm taking some edge control, the same one I used in all of my last braiding videos. If you haven't watched those, go and watch those. It's from the beauty supply store. It works good for braiding, so I'm just putting those on the sections near the parts, putting a generous amount actually, and just brushing it down. You can use gel. I know that you can use gel, and gel may work better for looser hair textures. I just personally didn't feel like putting gel in my hair, so I use edge control, but you can use gel. So now I am sectioning off the front to start my braid. You know I have tons of braiding videos, but I use my index finger like I always do and go behind and braid. I'm doing feeding braids again, so as usual I feed in my sections and continue braiding down. For anyone who hasn't watched my last videos, I told you that I've been using my index finger, so as you see I feed in the sections under that same pointer finger every time, so keep that in mind. Guys, my flatmate was playing music and I was having like way too much fun, but I'm not gonna braid the section all the way down. So you see I just braided enough for it to hold, and then I stop it because I am going to bring that braid around. So that's actually why I started with that braid instead. Now I know there are butterfly braids, which is the same kind of style, but the braids are like puffed out. I'm not doing butterfly braids, but we're just going to do regular feeding braids. So now onto the big section, applying that edge control again and brushing it in. Okay, so doing the same thing to the bigger sections, you see that I made a separate piece in the front, split it into 3, and then began braiding. Now I want this braid to stay forward. See the other braid I braided it going backwards like I normally do, and this time I'm braiding to the front. So I noticed that instead of using my pointer finger this time I used my middle finger. If you watch, I'm taking my middle finger, that's where I'm feeding the braid in, and I'm also using that to go in between the sections to make the braid. Doing the braid forward instead of just braiding backward normally keeps the braid closer to the hairline, which is exactly what I wanted for this. Also, do remember that when you do feeding braids, the sections that you feed into the hair get bigger as you braid. Alright, so I braided both of the sides, but there's a piece in the back because the braid is going to fall to one side. for the smaller section that I started on first, I'm gonna continue that and just continue feeding into the same exact thing. I'm just bringing it around to meet the other braid on the other side so that we can connect it. I also don't know if I mentioned, but I am just using one pack of Expression braiding hair in the color 1B. I split the pack into half like I normally do because it comes in, I think, about 84 inches. So I split that into half and I would use those sections to braid. So when I reached the other side, all I did was put the two sections together, make sure the entire thing is split into 3, and continue braiding all the way down. Alright, now when you reach the ends, I just combed it out a little bit, took a black rubber band and secured the ends. Guys, I needed a curling rod and it's in a different country, okay? I'm not in the same country I was when I first started this channel. So I took a pen, dipped it in a cup with hot water, and we got a curl, guys. Okay, we had a whole curl going on. And then I just took a bobby pin, and there was a part sticking up, so you can just stick it into the braid. And of course, I had to do my edges on soup. Now let's move on to the makeup. So I'm moisturizing with my Nivea moisturizer, guys. I love this. Like, I highly recommend it, like so highly. Now I'm priming with LA Girl Pro Conceal. I mean, it's not somewhere you don't need to be all matte and dry. This is just to smooth it out. Now I'm gonna take my Maybelline Matte Poreless in the color 340, put that on, and then I use a buffing blush from the BH Cosmetics face set. This should be on their website still, but I'm just buffing in the foundation with my brush. Then I'm going to take my damp Real Techniques beauty sponge. Love this sponge, the best sponge. And I blend in my foundation some more. I blend onto the neck, I blend the forehead, I blend, just blend away. Alright, so now it's time to conceal. I'm just concealing, not highlighting. Taking LA Girl Pro Conceal in the color Fawn. This is like the most popular color ever. But just gonna conceal, these areas with that and blend it out with my Real Techniques sponge. Alright, so now we're gonna bronze. I love bronzing. This is actually a stick foundation by Black Opal in the color Hazelnut. I'm not putting that where my contour line is. I'm actually putting it slightly above it and around my forehead. This just adds some color to your skin. Then I'm gonna take a buffing brush, but I'm taking the tapered one from the same set and blending that in. I'm making sure that I buff it into my hairline as well. And I mean, look at the edges just not moving. Look at them, just standing firm. You know them edges laid. Then I'm taking the Real Techniques sponge and the same side of it that I used for my foundation. I use that side to blend it together. Now I'm taking the LA Girl Pro Conceal in Dark Cocoa, and now we're actually going to contour. So below where I just put that bronzer and right on the forehead as well, we add some of that, and then we go from the eyebrow down the sides of the bridge of the nose and buff it in with that same tapered buffing brush. So the key here is to always blend. After every product that I apply, I go back in with the sponge and I use the side that I use to blend in my foundation and just blend everything together. Now I'm going to take another brush from the same set. This is one of the eyeshadow brushes. It's fluffy and tapered, and I'm just going to blend out my nose contour. Now we're going to highlight with Tarte Shape Tape in the color Tan Sand. This one is really bright, so I just use a little bit and I put it on the places I want to highlight. Now notice once again, after I highlight, I flip the sponge around to the part that I use for my foundation and blend in the edges so none of the lines look harsh. Alright, so now to set, I'm using my Airspun loose powder and I'm only going to put it on the places where I highlighted. This is cheap, online, Walmart, all that good stuff. But this powder is really good and I'm just going to put it on those places, and then when I go underneath my contour, I use Sasha Buttercup powder. It's yellow, it's not as bright, and the reason I do that is because you don't want underneath your contour to look too bright. When you take photos with flash, you're gonna end up looking crazy. So when I do makeup, I tend to blend and change shades and bronze certain areas so that, if I do go out or there's lights on me, you don't see any harsh lines. What I did before putting the Sasha Buttercup under my jawline was taking the excess concealer from my sponge and running it under just to sharpen up my contour. Now I'm taking my powder brush from the same set and buffing away the extra powder. And just to mention, I did not bake. The Tarte Shape Tape is already matte. These powders are very drying. I do not bake, especially under my contour. As soon as I put it, I brush it off. You don't want to keep it, and then underneath looks bright, so no baking. Now I'm taking my neutral Morphe palette. I love this palette. You just see me taking a brown from this palette and using that to sharpen up my contour. Then taking a fluffy tapered brush and bronzing with one of those powders. I don't know who told you that Morphe palettes are just eyeshadow, but they lied. They lied. This palette is amazing. I use it for so many things. Now I'm just gonna put on some blush. This is a LA blush. I just like the pink undertone, and then I blended it together. Now I'm highlighting with my Artisan Couture Baked Bronzer. This is amazing. I've had this for years. I've been using this for so long and it's awesome. Then you'll see me just put on some setting spray and apply some more of that. And if it looks harsh, then you just take a powder brush and blend it in. I also apply right on top of that the LA Girl highlighters just to brighten it up. It's more of a champagne color. And then as usual, go in and blend it away. You don't want it to look harsh and streaky. Blend. Alright, now time for brows. Just taking a spoolie, doing the brows upwards, and then I just take a regular brow pencil, guys. It's nothing fancy, and I line the under part of my brows, and then I'll brush them downwards and line the upper part. Then I'll take the pencil and just make some strokes going down of the spots that look a little bit scarce. Then I'll brush my brows sidewards and fill in the other sections that look a little bit scarce. So after I'm done, I take the spoolie and blend it out, and that's it. The same thing to the other brow. Now I'm taking a flat concealer brush and I'm using my foundation to go around my brows. Yes, foundation. You don't want to use bright concealers. Concealers are more than likely, they're usually thicker than foundations, and your concealer would be a little bit brighter, so I prefer to use foundation because it blends better. You know, you want everything to look blended and natural, no harsh lines, don't be getting caught with the flash on. Then I take the bright Tarte Shape Tape and I only put it on the brow bone. You don't see me start from the front or conceal the entire brow, just the brow bone, and then blend it in with my finger so it melts into the skin. Now putting it on the brow bone, I guess, kind of gives you a brow lift. It makes your eyebrows look a little bit cleaner and it makes your brow bone stand out so your eyebrows look higher. Now I take the powder off of that sponge, rub it across my eyelids, and I'm just taking that transition shade that I showed from the same palette and putting that in the upper crease, right above the crease. Then I'm taking the color that I used to bronze and applying that right on top of that last color to blend it together. Then we do the same thing to the other eye. I like to run my transition shades underneath. I like to run on my lower lash line to kind of tie my eyes in together so it's not naked down there. Then I take a dark brown shade and I start to blend that into the crease to add some depth to the eyes. Concealer in the center so that my lid color stands out more. Just taking a gold and placing it on the center, then blending around it with the dark brown and the crease colors just so it doesn't look too harsh on the lids. Alright, so now I'm just gonna do a regular wing eyeliner, and the reason I do a wing is because I don't know, I haven't done a wing in so long, and I kind of wanted my eyes to be shaped kind of cat-like because I have really small eyes. They're not wide at all, so I use eyeliner to kind of widen my eye shape. If you don't like doing wing eyeliner, probably just wear eyelashes that flare out to the end. So I bring my eyeliner into my tear duct to give me that kitten eye effect, and then I take a dark brown and run it under my lash line just to bring everything in together so it's not just eyeliner and then, you know, barely any color under there. Put on a little bit of mascara and then it's time for lashes. So I have two pairs. I end up going with the less dramatic ones using some Sassy lash glue. I put the lashes on tweezers, let it get a little tacky, and then place it there and stick it on with my fingers. So I got the lashes on and now it's time for lips. So regular brown lip liner. Oh yeah, I put some highlight on my collarbone. Regular brown lip liner. I line my lips, but I don't overline my top lip because I like to show my cupid's bow. The shape of your lips stand out better and looks cleaner when you do that. So I'm taking the red Milani liquid lipstick and I apply about 3 layers because I want it to be really big. I know you guys saw my little Christmas thing drop in the back. Then I sprayed some setting spray on my sponge and dabbed it on my face just to stop my face from looking powdery. But that is it, guys. Thanks for watching. Got the hair done, makeup done, everything done, feeling myself. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video.